I'm not entirely sure how the connection was made in my mind, but since I had the dream, I've been thinking that it is, at least in part, related to the renaming of sídhe Broga to Newgrange. And I cannot help entertaining the thought that the renaming was not necessarily a deliberately sinister or suppressive act on the part of the Cistercians, but that it was merely coincidental to the long and slow degradation of the mythic and sacred importance of this monument or sídhe that we have come to know as Newgrange. For sídhe Broga slumbered in the shade for great many ages of this world, and through many times of turbulence and transformation, the age sídhe kept a quiet watch on the comings and goings of kings and chieftains and religious orders from the unknown hidden realms beyond its doorway. The Tuatha Dé Danann encountered many invaders, according to the Liber Gabála, the Book of Takings, and it was the Mellifont arriving from Spain who finally dispossessed them of Ireland. But it was an incomplete dispossession, because in their armistice with the Dé Dananns, the Mellifont empowered them for eternity when they granted them possession of the sídhe. Failing to understand the gravity of this lack of foresight, the Mellifont guaranteed the undying Dananns a special immortality. They may have been removed from the physical landscape of the invaders, but in the realms of dream and song and netherworld, they assumed a transcendent elevation of extraordinary proportions, something that legitimized and prolonged them and ensured their vitality for countless generations of people, for whom they remained, and still remain, a very real presence. And so, in the dying light of an apparently vanquished Dé Danann world, the sídhe which had kept hushed for centuries its remarkable secret of hidden realms and banished gods, had even been made to suffer the ignominy of the loss of its name. And thus, through deliberate act or unwitting insult, the Cistercians became another in the long line of arrivers or invaders or takers, to attempt, by guile or gullibility, to degrade and dispossess the stony vault of sídhe Broga of its divine and sacred import. And what is that import? That there survives in people, even today, a light, a sacred essence, a revered and inviolate aspect, which derives originally from the very best facets of humanity. This aspect preserves the wish to initiate oneself into divine realms, with the express aim that one can be of service to one's greater community. The sacrifice of the Dé Dananns was immense. They yielded ownership of the beautiful Éire, the land we are so blessed to call our home, in order to avoid another war. They were weary of their encounters with the Fir Bolg and the Fomorians. With their blessing, the Mellifont would become the new caretakers. But they were only custodians. Their time would come and go with the waning of the years. In the past century, Newgrange has been unearthed and restored. Given a facelift, it has emerged from the rubble of its forlorn and dormant state. After 5 millennia, its secret crystal bower receives the golden sunlight once again on the winter solstice. The great sídhe has experienced a resurrection of sorts. The Fir Bolgs and the Fomorians were vanquished. Césaire and the Partholonians perished. The Vikings and the English came and went, and the Cistercians changed the sacred name of sídhe Broga to the newfangled Newgrange. But the Dé Dananns never died, even in the hushed ages of their belittlement. They emerged as the diminutive fairies, the good people, and danced and sang with unrestrained merriment around their ancient hollow hill in the midnight moonlight. Is it too bold a proposition to suggest that Newgrange be given back its old name? If we call it Sídhe in Broga once again, perhaps those diminutive fairies will arise in us as the unvanquished gods of our better nature, ready to bring light back into a somewhat darkened world.